Welcome back. Today's ride takes us from DY down to Shelley Beach and then up onto North Head, then across to some tracks around the Wakehurst Parkway, and then finally back to Allambie Heights via the and Beacon Hill via the pipeline track, descending back down into DY. We start with a bit of sneaky single track running alongside DY Creek down towards Pittwater Road, then switch across to the bike path that runs beside the DY Lagoon Nature Reserve down towards the beach, and then on the shared path up the Strand and down onto the beachfront itself. Next we're up to DY Headland for a quick look at the beach, and then over the top of the headland and down into Curl. Rubbish. Lizard. I haven't seen the tide this low before. Lizard. Another rabbit. After utilising the car park at the back of North Curl Beach, back onto the road and down towards Freshwater, look at the view from the headland there. Just a nice head there. After leaving Freshwater Headland, we rolled down to Freshwater Beach and took in the sights from a couple of vantage points along the beach front. After Freshwater, it was onto some shared pathways down to Queenscliff, where we joined up with the pathway along the back of Manly Beach. The shared pathway at the back of Manly Beach, the south end of Manly Beach, gets quite busy, and so it's best ridden fairly cautiously, especially when there's tourists around. And today there were plenty of school kids there as well. It's that time of year where a lot of school classes are going to the beach for some water safety and beach experience, which is a good thing for water safety. But it does make it a bit crowded. The track gets even more crowded from the southern end of Manly through round to Shelley Beach, and there are signs there which look like they indicate no bikes, but it's qualified as being from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sundays and public holidays. This ride was done on a Thursday, so it was completely legal, but I just had to take my time and ride cautiously and carefully with the crowds that were there.
You all have to come this way though now.
Wait, does anyone want to leave their bag?
The view from Shelley Headland is always a favourite. I've seen whales, I've seen dolphins, I've seen seals from up here, as well as surfers hitting up big swells when they're coming in from the south. It's a lovely spot. Up through the grounds of there's the old Catholic seminary. There's a feisty butcher bird here. Then we'll go up the way right here. Also, a very large kinky gun. Remembrance Walk at the end of the road, North End Scenic Drive. Which is not supposed to be a place with quality, but it's pretty quiet today, so after the views, it was back to the cafe precinct and then joining up with the bike path, which is about starting off with a very interesting route. After the short little pinch climb, we stopped at the quarantine cemetery for a short break. Stop and have a look at the cemetery. So this is the third and I think final quarantine cemetery that holds some of the people who didn't make it out of quarantine when they came to Australia. There's 240 odd buried here, right up until the early 1900s. Back in the day when quarantine was a bit less of an issue than it seemed to become during the COVID era. This angle of the fire is further inland than South Head, but you see you still got a very good view of the city skyline and over towards Chatswood, I think, possibly North Sydney. It's been very sad for people coming to Australia and getting this close and being unable to complete their journey into the magnificent harbour. A brief stop at the quarantine cemetery. We're back on the bike path heading towards Manly. It's getting a bit of a traffic line. Steady gravel in Sydney, and particularly on the northern beaches. Short local outlet for those with gravel bikes. Next up, it was back down the hill into Manly, and then a mix of some street work, some back street work, some bike paths to get across to the Burnt Bridge Creek bike path, which would take us up along Burnt Bridge Creek towards the Wakehurst Parkway. This is the Burnt Bridge Creek bike path. Used to be a big fruit bat colony along here. There's still plenty here, but it's like the harvesters have moved them up the creek a bit, interestingly. Unfortunately, they do tend to hang over the track a bit. We're still on the Burnt Bridge Creek bike path, about to cross under the Burnt Bridge Creek deviation, the road. Just to see what sort of light shows up from the headlights in this little tunnel. Up here we'll take a little deviation from the bike path. A bit of dirt. back out on the roads to gain a bit more elevation, heading up towards the Lake Coast Parkway. Stuck in here behind the bowling club to do a short little section of the Manly Dam track. We're in the vicinity. Manly Dam track off to the right there. This is a additional route links across the Lake Coast Parkway and engravings track. Saw a new bit of single track last time I came through this way, so I'll give that a go today. It looks like it skirts around a couple of sections that are a bit rugged and for me I'm right at these days. Okay, this is where we turn off here. Give this a bit of a dash. Got a bit like a lot of traffic. But still good. Work in progress. That's second entrance, it's not too bad. Alright, it's going to take the engravings fire trails. Doesn't need to be too adventurous still with this knee. High sun's probably not the best time to be coming in to have a look at a rock shelf for Aboriginal engravings. There's not much differentiation of shadow, but as you see it's quite an extensive area. There's some grooving that looks like it might have been channeled in water at some stage. And here's one carving that seems to show up reasonably well. It's harder to see here, but there's a large fish with another large fish just in front of it. This one looks a bit like Pac-Man, but it may be the tail of maybe a whale or some larger fish. And a few thoughtfully presented initials there as well. Back out onto the road for a while. Pantry Bay Road here. Onto a bike path that leads across to the aquatic centre, but take a bit of a detour. A few jump lines, but also bee lines. which is what I'll be doing. That was horrible. Should have done that. Got a bit jumpier since I last came down here. Big gap jumps. Moved back across to the primary track then. Okay. Easy roller. B-line rather than the C-line. Look at that steep, but it's a tough one. Stay on the line. So that's the end of the first and the roughest section of pipeline in this direction. We've now got to get across the Lambie Road and pick up the next section. Sections are grassy, but some steep up and down, so we'll see how we go. Haven't actually ridden through in this direction, I don't think, for a long while. Oh, that's a bit slushy. Nice coating of mud up the leaves. Well, that's about it, I think. One very sharp little pinch back there, but we should get up there okay. And you've got to get out of some roads and work your way back down to the coast. Pipelines. Alright, we've crossed over Warringah Road. Boston Falls Road. That'll be up to the bike path down Hinterland Road. It's a typical Royal Beaches style. Just disappears. Definitely not the way to get up to Plato. Bit of unofficial trail to link us back across to the DY and Narrabeen Lagoon bike path. Thanks. Just heading down the final bit of the bike path towards home. Probably about hang on 40 kilometres, 575 metres of climbing.